Hi friends, welcome back to Plan and Order. If you are new here, I am a homeschooling mom to a 4th grade who will be in 5th grade next year, and today I'm going to share what we're using for our 5th grade history. For history, we're focusing on American history with several built-in rabbit trails throughout the year. We plan on doing history 2 times a week. And our main spine for the year is Tuttle Twins America's History, Volumes 1 and 2. So this is what the inside of Volume 1 looks like. My daughter's having a play date, so I'm gonna do my best, but I don't think I cannot get sound in the background. Okay, so here's the table of contents for Volume 1. And the table of contents for Volume 2. And I'm going to be honest, with the way that I do my unit planning for a subject, it was really hard to plan this unit with the way that I pulled in a bunch of different pieces, because the table of contents doesn't tell me a lot about what is going to be in each chapter. Okay, so our plans are to either read or listen to the audiobook for about 12 to 20 minutes each day for history. And then after that, we'll follow up with notebooking, discussions, timeline work, or other hands-on resources, depending on what topic we're covering at the moment. If you've ever watched my content before, then you probably already know I like to pull in extra resources to enrich whatever subject we're covering. So we'll be using some pieces from Moving Beyond the Page, along with additional books and board games for this history unit as a whole. Okay, so these are a couple of the pieces that we'll be pulling in early on. We have a coloring book with the explorers. These are some of the pieces that I pulled from Moving Beyond the Page. The first one is a map of the first settlements. And then we have Competing for Lands. So it looks like those two we're going to be working into chapter 3. We have a couple books. So this book goes with the Moving Beyond the Page. And I also think it might be on a read list for Beautiful Feet, which we'll also be covering for history. And I'll share that in just a little bit. But I mostly got this for the Moving Beyond the Page unit. We have Where Do You Think You're Going, Christopher Columbus? And then we have a couple of board games that we're pulling in early on also. We have Century Spice Road. So this is a game that we will play when, or actually like the first chapter, they start off with the Silk Road, and so this is when we'll play that game. This is 8+, 2 to 5 players, 30 to 45 minutes. Then we have Century, A New World. This is 8+, 2 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes. I'll show you that. Okay, so now we're entering in our first rabbit trail topic, which is the American Revolution. And so I have different books and resources pulled together for a deeper dive in this time period in history. So one of the first things I have is this One Dead Spy, a Revolutionary War tale. This is one of the Hazardous Tales graphic novels. By Nathan Hale. We have Can't You Make Them Behave, King George by Jean Fritz. Another Jean Fritz. And Then What Happened, Paul Revere. True Stories of the Revolutionary War. This is also in comic book style. Liberty or Death, The American Revolution. I have this Atlas of U.S. History. So this is an atlas that covers different history periods. So right here, Era 3, Revolution and the New Nation, begins on page 36. And then I can also use this in the early American history that we'll be covering. So this is a good resource if you really like maps and timelines. I have The American Revolution, a hands-on history book. This is the type of book. It has letters, lift flaps, and that sort of thing. This is the sort of thing that's my daughter's jam. She likes anything that's kind of interactive. So the little slips and stuff that go into all of these, they stored in the back in this book, because this is from our research. So I think they're all in here. So I have to go through and put everything where it's supposed to go. But yeah, all of these have like letters and things from the people they're talking about. Just fun little pop-outs and stuff. My partner's reading Common Sense right now, actually. So that's a fun interactive book. And then I have a History Pockets. So this is a History Pockets from Evan Moore, and I saw this on somebody's page and decided to give it a try, where you take one of these notebook type situations and you use this to make your History Pockets. And if you've ever done History Pockets before, you know this is not what they normally look like. They actually normally look like this, where you have this really big construction paper and you have to fold it down and hand bind it and create these pockets where you stick all your interactive stuff in. And my daughter loves these. Again, she likes anything interactive, anything hands-on. But these are kind of a pain to store because they're just so big. And so when I saw, I want to say it was Pepper and Pine. I don't know. I'm the worst. I watch so many YouTubers that I absolutely love, but I don't know why I can never remember who gives me what ideas. I just need to start writing all this stuff down. But anyways, I thought this idea was genius, so we're going to try this route this year for the History Pocket for the American Revolution. Okay, another fun little resource I have for this time period is this Colonial and Revolutionary Currency. So I have set A and set B. So these are fun. I got these off of Amazon. I'm pretty sure this was Pepper and Pine. I'm almost 100% sure this was Pepper and Pine that I found this from. So these are really cool replicas of money from back in the day. So I thought that was fun. They're all different. They all have different years. They're supposed to be like different states. So I thought that was a fun resource. And the board game that will be tying into this rabbit trail is Deal or Duel, an Alexander Hamilton card game. And this is not going to tell me an age or time. That's weird. Let's open it up and see. It says in here somewhere. No. I must have saw it online. If I remember, I'll try to find it online and then post it in case anybody is curious. We play a lot of board games, so I'm always looking at, you know, the age and time, because if it's a really long game, my daughter gets bored very easily. Okay, so that's all we have right now for the American Revolution. I wouldn't be shocked if I end up getting more stuff. History is one of those things where I feel like I can never have enough resources, and I always get more than we even use, but they always end up being used eventually. Okay, so the next rabbit trail we would go down would be an Indigenous peoples rabbit trail. And for that, we're going to be using Beautiful Feet. Early American History. There's 2 of these. So this one is for immediate grades, but there's also one, I want to say for K through 3. Okay, so for this rabbit trail, I'm looking specifically at this first part of this curriculum. And I might tie some of the rest of this into other places in our history learning block also. I haven't really mapped that out yet. So it starts by showing you the literature used in this study. And I've gotten a good amount of these books already. And I love that they give you a visual list. Like, that's like one of my favorite things. But when I head to the library or the resource center of my charter, I don't want to take the book with me. And so I kind of just throw all the books in Canva, and then I can check off if I have them or not. And so that's how I see what I still need. So there's still some that I need. But again, they're not even necessarily in the subject that I definitely am covering. But I wouldn't be shocked if I end up covering them. So I still like to get all the books. Okay. So yeah, we would be covering this first part. And if you've never used Beautiful Feet before, it is what it says. It's really beautiful, and I really kind of like how they have their stuff laid out. We've only used it in nature study before, but I honestly love their nature study, so I wanted to give their history a try. So these are the books that I do have from the list. We have The Landing of the Pilgrims, Pocahontas and the Strangers, Pedro's Journal, The Story of Harriet Tubman, Civil War Drummer Boy, and I'm going to have to Google how to pronounce that name. I don't want to destroy it. This also comes with a CD in the back too. This one is stunning. Absolutely stunning. So I still need to listen to this and see what this is about. Then that curriculum came with a picture packet, and so some of the lessons will refer you to use the pictures in the picture packet. And that's what this is. Okay, and then the last rabbit trail that we're going to go down while we're going through our history block, using our spine as our guide, is immigration. And so for that, I'm using a unit from Moving Beyond the Page. And then some other books and resources. This is what I have so far. I have Coming to America, A Story of Immigration, and the unit from Moving Beyond the Page is going to be The House of Taylors, which I still need to get the book for, this is what that book looks like. And this book I already have. So then some of these other books on the Moving Beyond the Page list, these are actually books that we're going to be using in our literature. And so they also tie into the American history. So when I cover our literature blocks of learning, I'll go over those books. And then I just have a couple more resources. We're writing the Constitution, A More Perfect Union, the story of our Constitution, and then this D.K. Smithsonian American History, a visual encyclopedia. And that's it. That's what I have so far for our history block of learning. Let me know in the comments if you are what you're using for history this year, because I always like to get new ideas and hear what other people are using. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.